Hey there, I'm Christy Rotman. I am the college life skills coach, and I'm joined by Nicole, who I'll let introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Nicole Fischer. I'm the Assistant Director for Outreach and a licensed psychologist at CAPS, which is Counseling and Psychological Services within the Department of Student Health and Wellness.
Nice. And we wanted to get together to have a short conversation about stress and stress management because we know that's top of mind for students. So, to kick us off, Nicole, what is stress?
Sure. So stress, really simply, it's arousal. So the things that, cause us to be distracted, things that cause us to worry, things that motivate us as well. So stress isn't necessarily bad. It's the amount of stress that determines sort of the impact that it has. So once we've reached our threshold, sort of that peak, and then we start to decline because it's too much stress. But really thinking of stress as things that impact our everyday life or interfere with our everyday life based on how it makes us feel.
Nice. And do you have some tips for students to be proactive to kind of prevent themselves from hitting that peak?
Sure. Yeah, I definitely encourage self care. And, self care has become quite a buzzword these days, but it's really speaking to how we take care of ourselves on an everyday basis. So, not just when we're feeling stressed, but all of the time. And that can help reduce the amount of stress or the accumulation of stress over time. There's 5 areas of self care that I tend to talk about. One is your mental self care. So, attending to your thoughts, what am I actually thinking about on a day-to-day basis, or what am I thinking about a particular relationship? Is this something that I enjoy or don't enjoy? And then your emotional well-being, or your emotional self-care, attending to your feelings, really checking in with yourself and asking yourself how you feel on a very consistent basis. It's good to know when we're feeling great, and it's also good to know when we're not feeling so great. Your social well-being, or your social self-care, attending to your relationships, romantic relationships, relationships with coworkers, professors, mentors, and sort of constantly evaluating those relationships to make sure whether or not they're beneficial to you. Um, Certainly your physical well-being and your physical self-care plan, exercise, eating right, sleeping adequately on a consistent basis. And then as students, your academic well-being, and attending to the responsibilities and roles that you have as a student, and making sure that you're, seeking the most fulfillment out of those responsibilities.
Nice. Yeah. And I'm just thinking about how challenging it is to kind of pay attention to all of those things at once. It's like a juggling game. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. But probably a good reminder that kind of we're in process and we have to experiment to try to figure out what does that look like for us at any given time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What tips would you suggest when that stress does kind of cross that peak into the threshold where it's maybe not serving us or not helping us?
Hmm. So I would say sort of a two-pronged approach. One, you can seek out support from other people, and then also you can look inward and seek support from yourself. So with yourself, it's sort of checking in with yourself and asking, what is it that I need? What is it that I want? What's working for myself or what isn't working for myself? And only you can determine that because that's going to be different for every single person. Um, and then also seeking support from other people and sort of, sometimes it's just a venting session with a friend, sometimes it's asking for advice from a friend, um, sometimes it's consulting with a mentor or someone who you really admire. Sometimes it's seeking validation for how you're feeling. So oftentimes, if you're feeling stressed in the midst of midterm season, your friends and your classmates are feeling the same way. A lot of times people forget about that. So we have to sort of seek that validation to know that we're kind of on the same page as everyone else. And um, it's not an isolating experience. It doesn't have to be an isolating experience. So really checking in with yourself and or checking in with other people to kind of help you out if you have reached your max point in terms of the amount of stress that you are experiencing.
Yeah, I really appreciate that reminder. It's so easy to kind of believe that we're alone in feeling, too stressed or that we just have more than we can handle. And I think students can often get to that point, especially during like peak times, like midterms or finals or things like that. So it's such a good reminder that if they look around, they're not alone, that they're kind of surrounded by others that are feeling that way. I'd love to hear what kind of support CAPS can offer students in those times.
Sure. So we definitely, we offer individual therapy, we offer group therapy. We offer drop-in hours or drop-in consultation times, whether those are in person or over the phone. And that's available 24/7. So you can literally get in touch with a therapist any time of day, regardless of the day of the week or the time of day. We also have drop-in consultation hours. We call those hours Let's Talk. And that's an opportunity to speak in person or one-on-one with a CAPS therapist, typically outside of our office to provide a more relaxed environment, especially for students who are unfamiliar or a little bit apprehensive or uncomfortable about coming over to our clinical space. Um, Sometimes we offer workshops for students and we collaborate with folks like you, Christy, to do that. We have Silver Cloud, which is an app available to our students. It's available on our website and it's free to every enrolled UVA student. It's a self-guided module that you can download on your phone. There's a lot of psychoeducation information and like practical tips to manage stress, anxiety, depression, even sleep hygiene. And we also have a lot of other resources on our website that you can browse at your leisure and take advantage of sort of self-guided resources. So it's not necessarily coming to CAPS and scheduling an appointment with one of us, but there's a lot of things that we're making available to you that you can access independently and go at your own pace.
Yeah, I so appreciate all the different types of support that CAPS has, and I hope students will explore that. I know you and I were also brainstorming other supports because not just CAPS, although CAPS is an excellent support, but students may be feeling academic stress or career stress or social identity related or sense of belonging stress. And so it may make sense to reach out to another type of support, like a professor or me, like the college life skills coach, or maybe there's someone in their school that they could chat with, like in the School of Engineering or something like that. I know we were also brainstorming RAs and mentors and some of the great offices around grounds like the Multicultural Student Services or the Office of African American Affairs, which we call OAAA, the LGBTQ Center, the International Studies Office, which supports international students. And what else were we thinking of? Oh yeah, clubs. So kind of finding that belonging with other students, or maybe it's for someone who has a religious practice, maybe it's a leader within that context as well. So certainly so many ways to kind of seek support and get that feedback that we all need. Anything else I missed?
No, I think that's, there's a whole host of resources available to students, and I just encourage them to utilize them and take advantage of them. There's a lot of people around who are very willing and able to help you and support you.
Yeah. Well, with that, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks.